Hey there, good morning everybody. It's Mr. Romer here with English Language Arts and looking at your writing. Okay, I've been thinking about this one a lot for you guys because writing is probably the most difficult thing to teach. It's also one of the most difficult things to do. Okay, so let's take a look at your writing prompt for Module 6. So it's right here within the green box, and it states this. After reading the text set, so you're going to be reading 2 articles, think about how the authors present information about the advantages and disadvantages of living in the city or in the country. Okay, in your opinion, explain which is better to live in. So you have to choose the city or the country, not both, one or the other. Okay, and then it also says use evidence from the text to support your opinion. Now, I want to show you really how to do this by completing another prompt, okay? I'm not going to do the prompt that you're doing, okay? I'm going to show you a different one and just show you how to use the form that I created, okay? The text has one, but I really like the one that I created. I've been using it for years. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, so my prompt is a little bit different than what I told you, just as a sample. And it says this: after reading the text set, think about how the authors present information about Agate Fossil Beds National Monument. So this is in lesson, I believe, 5 from Module 6. Okay, in your opinion, now I made this question up. In your opinion, explain why you think or do not think a place like the monument should be preserved. Okay, so I have to choose. Do I really think this place is important, or do I think that, hey, they should have just bulldozed it and forgotten about it? Okay, use evidence from the texts to support your opinion. Now, within that lesson, they gave me 2 different texts. I went ahead and cut and pasted them right here. And the first one was called Forming Fossils, and then there's another one called Paleontology. It's on the next page. Okay, and then what I did was I read through them and I decided on my opinion. Okay, and after reading both of these articles and other experiences that I had in my life, okay, because that's important too, okay, you've lived in the city, maybe you haven't lived in the country, but you've lived in the city, you understand about that. So you can choose some of the things that you have personal knowledge about as well. Okay, but use information from the text. I decided that a place like Agate Fossil Beds was important and it should be preserved. Now, I read through these, and then I found some of the main points, okay, why I think it should be preserved. One was just the sheer number of fossils found there. Okay, they found lots and lots of fossils at this place. It's quite unique. Okay, it has secrets of mammalian lifestyle and environment. Okay, mammals, okay, they don't get preserved very much. Usually it's just like plants, okay, and insects. Mammals, they're more rare. Okay, it takes place about 50 million years ago, some of this stuff. Okay, just some examples of some of the animals. They found this thing, it's the terrible pig, this omnivorous Diaodon. Okay, I don't know how to say it. And then they have the Paleocastor, an ancient beaver that built these corkscrew tunnels. So you got some neat things right here. Okay, I put down climate became warmer. Maybe I won't use that. Okay, one fossil layer dates back 21 million years ago. So that's when they started getting buried. Okay, so 21 million years ago. Imagine that. Now museums use them, and educational institutions use them. So what I did was, on my example right here, I went and at the beginning, just like in our samples from the text, okay, we want to start out with a hook. We want to get the reader's attention, okay? We also want to have a bridge to hook the controlling statement, okay? And then we want to have the last thing here is going to be our opinion, okay? Let me go over these. So I started out with a hook, and sometimes you might want to start with a question. And I just said, do you enjoy looking at old family photographs? Now imagine looking at a photograph from, I think it's at 21 million years ago. Okay, so imagine that. Well, it's not a photograph, so that, let me go back. Did that get your attention? I hope so. 21 million year old photo. Okay. Now the bridge right here. Well, it's not really a photograph, but it is a fossil. At Agate Fossil Beds National Monument, you can view fossils dating back 21 million years ago. Okay, so I just used some information from the text, and I kind of am putting it towards my controlling statement. Now, your controlling statement is going to be a starter sentence. You can use my starter sentence. I'll provide one for you on the text, or you can create your own. Okay, here is my opinion. It is important to preserve places like Agate Fossil Beds National Monument. Okay, I need to state right away why or what is my opinion about it. Now, I'm going to try to state 3 reasons why I think it's important. Okay, the first one is it tells a record of a much earlier time. My second one is it has a large number of fossils, including mammals. That's my second reason. You saw I found that in the text. And then the last one is that it provides educational institutions and museums with specimens. Okay, so I've got 3 different reasons. Now, right here is my reason number 1. And I said it tells a record of a much earlier time. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to put it right here. To begin, it tells a record of a much earlier time. Okay? And I could say, in fact, it goes back 21 million years. Okay, so here's my reason number 1. Now what I want to do is go ahead and find more information from the text about how it provides a record from much earlier. Okay, I'm going to pause there for a second. Okay, everybody, so let's look at my reason again. So I stated that it says to begin, it tells a record of a much earlier time. In fact, it goes back 21 million years. Okay, now what I did was I looked in the text right back here. Okay, and I found a couple different things that I liked, and now I can put them in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and deal with this reason right here, an earlier record. Okay, and now this explain down here is going to be details from the text, and then me explaining my reasoning as well. So I stated right here, according to the text, that's a good start. Always put down the name of the text that you're using at the beginning. Okay, changes were occurring. What changes? It states that, and now I have a direct quote, the Rocky Mountains were rising and the Great Plains were forming. Now right down here I have an explain. So if I want to, I can go ahead and just explain that and why that is important. Okay, I can put it down as even this. I think that it is important because our world is ever changing. So learning from the past is important today. Okay, what I mean by that is that if we're looking at the Rocky Mountains forming, what's going on in other parts of the world when you see mountains being formed, and how can we use the past to see what happens so we can make predictions on today. So it's important to learn from the past. So guys, my point is this, is that you want to stick with your reason here. Okay, find details in the text to support your reasoning, and then explain maybe in your own words. Okay, another detail that I found was volcanic ash from Nevada and Utah, okay, drifted over to that region. Okay, now that's not a direct quote from the text, but it did say that it was volcanic ash from Nevada and Utah. And then I just paraphrased, okay? So I know when I was a kid that Mount St. Helens blew up, okay? And right here, what I can do is I can go ahead and do my explain, whoops, if I can get this on there, I can do my explain and just state something like that. Okay, when I was a kid, I guess, I remember finding ash from Mount St. Helens in Wisconsin. Okay, and get this, it had drifted, I think I had that up there, floated or blown all the way from Washington State, which was or is 2,000 miles away. So right there, I'm just kind of giving some personal background information, and you can see and understand that the volcanic ash can travel long distances. Okay, and then I've got another reason down here, and I can go ahead and I said an ecosystem developed as waterways shifted and valleys were created. Okay, and I can go ahead and do an explain. Okay, so now you can see that you go ahead up here. This is super important, is that right here I had 3 different things. Okay, it tells a record of much earlier time. It has a large number of fossils, including mammals, and it provides educational materials for institutions and museums, specimens, right? So my first one was only about a record of a much earlier time. That's right down here. And then in the red, I provide details from the text and a quote, and I can explain each one of them in my own words and why I think they're important. Okay, my second one is right here. It has a large number of fossils, including mammals. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and that's going to go down into my second reason right here. Okay, and right here I can see that I should have a transition word. Okay, I could say furthermore, agate fossil beds also has a large number of fossils, including mammals. Okay, and then I can go ahead and I can find information about the fossil beds having mammals. I can put down my detail right here. Okay, and then I can go ahead and explain. Now I do probably want to put one quote in there. Okay, but my point is this. You're going to have this reason right here, and all I'm really going to talk about is some of the fossils of mammals and why they were so important. That's all I'm going to talk about in this red part. Okay, in the next yellow part right here, I'm going to look back at my reason number 3. All I have to do is go back up. It's really simple. I go back up here. Okay, it provides educational institutions and museums with specimens. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to put that down here in this next section. I'm going to start out with maybe lastly. Okay. It provides educational institutions and museums with specimens. Okay. So now my last little part right here in red, I'm going to just talk about the specimens that are given to museums and how education uses them. Okay. And then I've got my 3 reasons. Okay. I've got details to explain them, and then details from the text to support them. And then I've got and explain why I think those reasons and details are important. Now lastly, right here, we've got another green. You notice that our first section was green as well. All you're going to do here is restate your controlling statement, and then give the reader something to think about. So I'm going to look back up at my controlling statement. In fact, I'm going to do something very simple. I'm going to go ahead. Whoa, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut and paste this controlling statement. Okay. And I'm going to put it down here. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and change some things up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give a conclusion word. In conclusion, comma. I don't need it bolded, so that's my bad. Okay, in conclusion, okay, I'm getting rid of my bold and underline, not a big deal. Okay, I'll say that agate fossil beds is important because it tells a record of an earlier time. Okay, I could go period there. The large amount of fossils, the large amount of fossils, including mammals. I'll just say large amount of fossils. You know what? I cut something up. Oh, because it tells a record of earlier time. Okay, the large amount of fossils provides educational institutions and museums with specimens. So right there I have my first reason, record of earlier time, large number of fossils, and it also provides educational institutions and museums with specimens. Okay, so I stated my 3 reasons again in my conclusion statement in a slightly different way. Now, I want to leave the reader with something maybe to think about. Okay, now that you know more about agate beds, agate fossil beds, National Monument. Maybe you could take a trip to Nebraska and, I don't know, experience a trip back in time. So I'm kind of just leaving them with kind of a little bit of an ending right there. Okay, something to think about. All right, guys. So I hope that helped. Just a couple I know I'm getting long here, but just a couple things. Okay, you got your hook. Get the reader's attention. Okay, give them a bridge. Okay, give them some background information that's going to bring your hook. And then your controlling statement. Super, 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 super important. Okay, you want to state 3 different reasons why you think that what you think. Okay, in your case, the farm or rural area being a better place to live, or the city being a better place to live. And then you're going to go ahead and provide your first reason, details, okay, and an explanation to support your reason, okay, another reason, including a transition word, more details and explain, okay, only for that reason, your third reason, and then details and explain for that one, okay? So your details should be paraphrased from the text or a direct quote. Your explain, that's on you, okay? And then your conclusion here, just restate your controlling statement, switch it around a bit, use a conclusion word, and then go ahead and give the reader kind of a last little thought right there. All right, guys. So I hope that helps. Until next time, raise that screen. Take care.